upcoming horror movies are looking awesome for fans of the genre, packed with a mix of classic scares and brand new, terrifying villains. We've got more serial killers, creepy demons, supernatural threats, and yes, killer clowns making their return. For those into man-made monsters, there's no shortage of creepy creations to keep you on edge. Plus, alien and sci-fi horror fans have some chilling stuff to look forward to too. It's shaping up to be a killer lineup for everyone, so let's not waste any more time and dive into the scariest upcoming horror movies of 2025 and 2026. Until Dawn, April 25th, 2025. A live-action version of Sony's 2015 video game Until Dawn is coming this spring. It'll be directed by David F. Sandberg and written by Gary Dauberman. Screen Gems says it'll be an R-rated love letter to the horror genre with a focus on an ensemble cast. The story goes like this. A year after her sister Melanie vanished without a trace, Clover and her friends head to the remote valley where she disappeared, hoping to find answers. While exploring an abandoned visitor center, they're hunted by a masked killer and killed one by one, only to wake up and find themselves stuck in the same night, reliving it over and over. The group realizes their time is running out, and the only way to break the cycle is to survive until dawn. As for the film's approach, it's getting some mixed reactions. Some fans feel like it's just slapping the Until Dawn name on a generic horror movie. The game, released in 2015, is known for its branching storylines where your decisions impact the outcome. But this film seems to simplify it into a time loop with a masked killer. The teaser says it will expand on the game's story, but still be a different experience. Also, people are questioning why the film doesn't match the game's snowy, mountainous vibe, leaving out key elements like the Wendigo creatures. It's like making The Last of Us, but swapping the zombies for a climate disaster. I do agree with all that, but I still think there's potential for the movie to be great. Clown in a Cornfield Parade, May 9th, 2025. The highly anticipated movie, based on Adam Cesar's 2020 novel, is hitting theaters this May. It's written and directed by Eli Craig, who's known for Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, with Carter Blanchard co-writing. Here's the plot. Quinn and her dad move to the peaceful town of Kettle Springs for a fresh start. But instead of a calm life, they find a community falling apart after the local Bay Pen corn syrup factory burned down. As the townspeople argue and tensions rise, a creepy, grinning figure starts popping up from the cornfields, picking off victims one by one to cleanse the town. Final Destination Bloodlines, May 16th, 2025. The sixth Final Destination movie is going to be bittersweet. Fans are excited for the first new installment in 14 years, but it will also be Tony Todd's final performance as the enigmatic William Bloodworth, following his passing in November 2024. While the plot is still unknown, producer Craig Perry shared with Digital Spy in 2020 that they were considering setting the movie in the world of first responders, EMTs, firefighters, and police who face death daily and make life-or-death decisions. Fear Street Prom Queen, May 23, 2025. Co-writer and director Matt Palmer, along with writer Donald McLeary, are teaming up to adapt R.L. Stine's 1992 book Prom Queen. This will be the first Fear Street film based on a single novel and the fourth installment for Netflix. In 2021, the streaming platform released the Fear Street trilogy, which included Part 1, 1994, Part 2, 1978, and Part 3, 1666. Here's the synopsis. It's prom season at Shadyside High, and the school's popular it girls are battling it out for the crown. But when a bold outsider is unexpectedly nominated for the court, and the other girls start disappearing under strange circumstances, the class of '88 is in for a prom night they'll never forget. Bring Her Back, May 30th, 2025. Bring Her Back is shaping up to be another chilling entry in A24's horror catalog, this time from Talk to Me filmmakers Danny and Michael Filippo. Dubbed a spiritual successor to their breakout debut, the movie stars Sally Hawkins as a grieving mother who believes she's found a way to reanimate her dead daughter, with a little help from the supernatural. The first full trailer, which just dropped, reveals more of the eerie plot. Hawkins' character is haunted by loss and obsessed with the idea that the soul lingers in the body long after death. "We can bring her back," she says with eerie conviction, hinting at a dangerous ritual that might come at a terrifying cost. While earlier reports teased a story about a brother and sister stumbling upon a ritual at their foster mom's home, this trailer shifts the focus more toward Hawkins' emotionally fraught, ghostly quest. The cast also features Billy Barrett, Sora Wong, and Jonah Wren Phillips. Given that Talk to Me became A24's highest-grossing horror film ever, expectations are high for this follow-up. Megan 2.0 teaser trailer, June 27, 2025. Megan 2.0 is on the way, and it looks like we'll be facing off with the creepy, tech-savvy doll once again. Just like The Black Phone 2, stars Allison Williams and Violet McGraw, yes, she's Madeline McGraw's sister, will be returning to reprise their roles. The ending of Megan definitely hinted at a sequel, but the specific details of the new film are still unknown. In addition to Megan 2.0, there's a spin-off called Soulmate coming in 2026. More on that in a bit. Untitled I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel, July 18th. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer, the 2006 direct-to-video release, didn't make much of a splash in the slasher franchise. With production issues and harsh criticism from both critics and audiences, it's no surprise that the upcoming untitled fourth installment will serve as a direct sequel to I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Along with a new cast, original stars Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. will be back as Julie James and Ray Bronson. While the title and plot are still unknown, Leah McKendrick, who wrote the original story, shared with Collider earlier this year that the film will explore some major themes: hero versus villain, right versus wrong, and how your past can come back to haunt you. She also teased how the story will look at Julie James's role in a world where secrets don't stay hidden, especially in the age of social media and TikTok fame. Together, August 1st, 2025. Together is a 2025 body horror film that marks the directorial debut of Michael Shanks, starring real-life couple Dave Franco and Alison Brie. The story centers on a couple, Tim and Millie, who decide to leave the city behind and start fresh in the countryside. But instead of peace and quiet, they stumble into something way darker, a supernatural force that not only messes with their relationship, but starts to change their bodies in horrifying ways. The film had its big debut at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival in the Midnight section and immediately got people talking. Critics were loving it, and multiple studios were fighting over the rights. Eventually, Neon grabbed it for a whopping $17 million, making it the first major sale of the fest. So far, the reviews are solid. Together has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes from 46 critics, with an average score of 7.9 out of 10 and a 76 on Metacritic. It's creepy, creative, and definitely not your typical horror flick. Thread, an Insidious Tale, August 29, 2025. Thread, an Insidious Tale is a spin-off of the Insidious franchise, starring Mandy Moore and Kumail Nanjiani, and directed by Jeremy Slater. Though this will be Slater's feature debut, he's previously directed episodes of Moon Knight, The Umbrella Academy, and The Exorcist. Deadline reports that this spin-off won't continue the current Insidious storyline. Instead, it will focus on a husband and wife who use a spell to travel back in time, in an attempt to prevent the tragic death of their young daughter. Naturally, meddling with time comes with severe consequences. The Conjuring Last Rites, September 5, 2025. The Conjuring Last Rites will be the fourth film in the Conjuring series and the ninth installment in the Conjuring universe, and fans are eagerly awaiting this final chapter. The first Conjuring movie came out in 2013, sparking a modern horror extended universe that led to the Annabelle and the Nun films. Director James Wan, who helmed the first two Conjuring movies, shared on Instagram that The Conjuring Last Rites marks the end of an era, posting a photo of chairs with Ed and Lorraine Warren's names. The films have focused on the real-life paranormal investigators, portrayed by Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. While this may be the last Conjuring movie, there are already rumors about another Annabelle installment and a potential Conjuring TV series currently in development at Warner Bros. Discovery. The Black Phone 2, October 17, 2025. Scott Derrickson, known for his work on Blumhouse hits like Sinister and The Black Phone, really knows how to make films that get under your skin. Focusing on a kidnapped child always guarantees chills, but when the victim starts communicating with other deceased captives, it takes things to a whole new, disturbing level. In the first film, Derrickson and Ethan Hawke made a deliberate choice to have the grabber go shirtless in one scene, showing off Hawke's physique to make the character even more intimidating. The suspense in The Black Phone is relentless, especially as protagonist Finney tries to outwit the grabber, portrayed brilliantly by Hawke. While plot details for the sequel are still unknown, Fans will be happy to know that Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, and Ethan Hawke will all be back in their roles. Author Joe Hill, who wrote the original The Black Phone short story, reportedly pitched Derrickson a fantastic idea for a sequel. With both Derrickson and Hill on board, expectations are high for a follow-up that's just as chilling, if not more so, than the first film. Hell House LLC Lineage, October 2025. Directed by Stephen Cognetti, Hell House LLC 5 will be available on Shudder just in time for Halloween. While the plot is still under wraps, the sequel is set to explore the backstories of familiar characters while introducing new ones and fresh storylines. The Hell House LLC franchise continues to deliver spine-chilling thrills, keeping fans hooked with each new installment. Starring Elizabeth Vermiglia, Sierra Saka, Mike Sutton, Joe Bandelli, Kayla Berajikian, Victoria Andronic, Gideon Berger, Bridget Rose Perota, and Destiny Leilani Brown, this latest chapter promises more terror than ever. Predator Badlands, November 7, 2025. Director Dan Trachtenberg, known for Prey, is back with Predator Badlands, a new addition to the Predator franchise. Unlike Prey, this film won't be a sequel but will take place in the future on an alien planet. Trachtenberg teased that the Predator will be front and center, still as fierce as ever, but with an emotional depth that's rarely explored. The film will challenge traditional franchise boundaries, allowing audiences to root for the Predator in a way they've never experienced before. While not much else is known about the film, there are rumors that Trachtenberg may be working on another Predator project as well. The Running Man, November 21, 2025. Edgar Wright, known for Shaun of the Dead, is set to direct a new adaptation of Stephen King's The Running Man, originally published under the pen name Richard Bachman. The 1987 version, directed by Paul Michael Glaser and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, is getting a fresh take with Glenn Powell in the lead role as Ben Richards. Powell, who has been making waves since Twisters, will portray the desperate man who must survive a deadly reality TV game where the ultimate goal is simply to stay alive. The film also stars a strong ensemble cast, including Katie O'Brien, Daniel Ezra, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace, Michael Cera, and Emilia Jones. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, December 5, 2025. Five Nights at Freddy's, a massive independent game franchise with 9 serial games, multiple books, and countless spin-offs, has become one of the most influential franchises of the 21st century. The first movie, released on October 27, 2023, experienced a rocky production process, but ultimately sparked huge excitement, especially with its Easter eggs and references for the dedicated fanbase. Fans were particularly impressed by the animatronic designs, thanks to a collaboration between Blumhouse Productions and Jim Henson's Creature Shop. While many video game adaptations, particularly horror ones, tend to disappoint, the reveal of characters like Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy had fans cheering for their faithful and meticulous recreation. With the sequel already generating buzz, fans are eagerly speculating about which new game plot elements will be brought to life in the next installment. With such a long-awaited continuation, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is already high on fans' must-watch lists. Anaconda Reboot, December 25, 2025. The Anaconda franchise is getting a fresh horror-comedy reboot this Christmas, directed by Tom Gormican. The film will star Paul Rudd and Jack Black, who recently confirmed the release date. While the official plot is still unknown, Black teased there's going to be a big effing snake and it's going to rip. The original 1997 film followed a documentary crew on a dangerous hunt for a massive, deadly anaconda in the Amazon rainforest, and fans are excited to see how the new take will blend horror with comedy. Soulmate, January 2, 2026. Soulmate is a dark sci-fi spin-off from Megan that's leaning into thriller and erotic territory. Written and directed by Kate Dolan, from a story crafted by James Wan, Ingrid Bisu, and Raphael Jordan, the film follows a grieving man who buys an android to cope with the loss of his wife, definitely heading into some emotionally and morally charged territory. The cast is led by Lily Sullivan, alongside David Rysdahl, Claudia Dumit, and Oliver Cooper. The project is produced by horror heavyweights Jason Blum and James Wan through Blumhouse and Atomic Monster. Filming wrapped up by November 2024, Narayan Van Mael is handling cinematography, and John Cutler's editing is expected to bring that eerie tension we saw in Megan. Given the team behind it, fans of tech horror and Black Mirror-style ethics are definitely going to want to keep an eye on this one. Scream 7, February 27, 2026. Ghostface is back, and Scream 7 is officially happening after a year of uncertainty following Scream 6. The franchise, which kicked off in 1996, has had its fair share of twists, and this next chapter promises even more. After the SAG-AFTRA strikes and Christopher Landon stepping down as director, things were rocky. But now, original Scream writer Kevin Williamson is stepping in to direct, and we finally got a release date. Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega won't be returning, so Sam and Tara's storylines are done, and the movie is set to shift focus, bringing back Neve Campbell as Sidney Prescott in what's said to be a more trauma-focused story, similar to Jamie Lee Curtis's return in the recent Halloween films. No plot details yet, but the film might lean into nostalgia while exploring new twists, maybe even teasing the return of Stu Macher, whose death was never shown on screen. The Bride, March 6, 2026. The Bride by Maggie Gyllenhaal is a bold and unexpected spin on The Bride of Frankenstein, but this time it's a musical. Yep, you heard that right. Maggie is not just directing, she's also writing and producing the film, and she's pulled together a pretty stacked cast. Jessie Buckley plays the bride, and apparently kills it with her singing and dancing, and Christian Bale is stepping into the role of Frankenstein's monster. Jake Gyllenhaal and Peter Sarsgaard are also in the mix, along with Annette Bening, Penelope Cruz, and John Magaro. The story takes place in 1930 Chicago, where Frankenstein teams up with Dr. Euphronius to bring a murdered woman back to life as a companion. But things don't go exactly as planned. Their creation sets off a whirlwind of romance, police scrutiny, and even sparks some social change. Peter Sarsgaard teased in an interview that the film has big dance numbers, and Jessie Buckley's free-flowing acting style apparently fits the vibe perfectly. No trailer yet, but with this kind of creative team and cast, it's definitely one to keep an eye on. The Mummy, April 17, 2026. The 2026 Mummy film, directed by Lee Cronin, known for Evil Dead Rise, is set to bring a fresh twist to the classic supernatural horror franchise. Produced by Blumhouse Productions, Atomic Monster, and Cronin's doppelgangers, the film will star Jack Rayner, Laia Costa, Veronica Falcone, May Kalamaui, and May Elgeti. The New Line Cinema will do the distribution, marking the first film in the Mummy franchise not distributed by Universal. Production kicked off in March 2025, with filming locations in Ireland and Spain. This new version of The Mummy is separate from previous iterations, including the 1999 Mummy series and the 2017 reboot, and promises to offer its own unique take on the iconic tale. Given Cronin's horror background, fans can expect a darker, more chilling approach to the mythos. Vervulf, December 25, 2026. Robert Eggers is set to follow up his critically acclaimed Nosferatu with a new horror project, Vervulf. Slated for a Christmas Day 2026 release, the film will delve into werewolf mythology, with Eggers co-writing the script alongside Sion, his frequent collaborator. The movie will be produced by Focus Features, who has worked with Eggers on all his films, including The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. The film promises to carry Eggers' signature Gothic style, blending historical settings and horror elements. Vervulf is being produced by Eggers, Sion, and Focus Features, with Chris and Eleanor Columbus of Maiden Voyage serving as executive producers. Eggers' Nosferatu, his reimagining of the 1922 silent film, has already been a major success, grossing over $156 million worldwide. It seems like Vervulf will continue his trend of blending atmospheric horror with historical settings. Well, that's it for today. That's a lot of thrilling horror to look forward to in the next couple of years. Which one of these upcoming films has you most excited? Or is there a different horror movie you're eagerly anticipating? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe because we'll be covering more updates on this soon and other exciting upcoming movies and series. We'll see you next time.